Alright, in this video we are going to learn how to make this awesome product label design in Canva. So let's jump right into Canva and do that now.
Alright, welcome everybody. In order for us to get a measurement, what we need to do is to measure our diameter. These are samples that I got from a design that I made some time ago for a client. So this is the bottle, okay? Then we have other ones here that we can use, but I just want to use this one to show you an example. Okay, let's say you want your design to just be from here to here. We don't want it to round around our bottle. So what we can do is to have our measurement like this. Just place this one here. Okay, let's say you want it to be this size. Okay, you don't want it to round around. Just make it like this. Then place your hand like this. And now that your hand is here, just let me do this like this. Just use your biro or whatever to mark it like this. Let's say you like this length. Okay, this bottle is white. This paper is white, so it might be confusing. Let me use this one. Okay, let's say you want it from here to here, and now you mark this place. Okay, so what you can do now is to come with your ruler, maybe just tear that part out. Okay, and just and position this one here. Just tear this part out. Okay, and now what we have is this. So we are having this like this, and let's say the length. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Let's say the length, you want it to be this short. Okay, and take your barrel and you mark. Okay, now you can also tear that part out. So let's get this done. So now what we have is this. Okay, now you get this measurement like this. Let's say this is how you want your label to be, the size that you want it to be. So now you measure this height. Oh, sorry about that. So you measure this one now, the width. Okay, this one is giving me 0. Okay, no 0. Like 5.5. Let's say 5.5 or 5.6 or thereabout. Say write it here as 5.6. Okay, then you measure the height. Okay, now this one is giving you, let's say 7 point. Okay, measure it as 7 centimeter. Okay, this one is also centimeter. So now what we have is this. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so now this is what you're going to enter into your computer. But let's say you want it to be round. Okay, let's use another bottle for that. Let's say you want it to be all around it. Okay, what you can do is to place your paper here. Okay, around it, around your bottle. Okay, now here we have this intersection here. So you just simply come and you put your marker here. Okay, all right. So now you come and tear that part out. Okay, in order for you to be more accurate, you can actually just measure from here too, so that you can get the red dot here. But I'm not going to go through all that, so I'm just going to tear it out. Okay, now we have this one, which is going to round our bottle. Okay, there's a whole mathematical way of doing this, but I don't want to do that. You can see that kind of relatively tight. Okay, but we're having some little gaps there, so you can add few inches there, very few, so that it can round. But let's say you want your bottle to be like this. You don't want it to be all wrapped up. You just want it to be this length. You want this space to be there. You can also measure it when wrapping your paper around it. Make sure you give that gap, or if you want it to be that close or even overlaps, also measure it so that you can get that overlap. Okay, but if you say you want it to be really perfect, get the perfect measurement, and now what you can have, you will not see any gap right there. Okay, it's going to be really close. So now that we have this, we're going to measure the height of the bottle in order for it to get where you want it to be. So I'm measuring the height of the bottle now. Don't get too close to the end. Okay, I'm looking at here and I think I should measure 9.5. Okay, 9.5. So what we have now is we're going to measure this. Okay, this is already our length, and let's get, okay, please let me confirm that. Okay, we have all this. Okay, cool. Okay, we're going to measure 9.5. so we have it here. I'm just going to tear it. Let me be careful with this. 9.5. Okay, and let me just measure this other part so it can be accurate. So we have here now as 9.5. Okay, so I'm just going to measure this. So if I bring my bottle now and place it on it, so this is what our label is going to look like. Okay, this is how you get the accurate label. And you can see now it's well wrapped around. I don't know if you can see that clearly. You can see the edge here. We're having some space here, and you're having some space here, and this bottom part. Okay, you can see it's wrapping around it. Like now we have these spaces. When measuring, make sure that if you don't want to have space, give another overlap so that you can really wrap around it. Okay, but this is what we're because we want it to be really, really perfect. So now this is the measurement. So we have here as 9.5. Then we have here as, what did we measure the other time? We'll measure it again to confirm. We have, okay, that's 9.5. This one is measuring this length, and we have 19.5. Okay, so we have this is 19.5, and this is 9.5. So what we have is this now, right? 19.5, which is the width. Then we have the height as 9.5. Now this is what we're going to be entering into the computer. So let's jump right into Canva and let me show you how you can actually enter these figures.
All right, so just to be more clear again, I believe you've watched the video on how to do your measurement, but let me give you more example here in case you're wondering how we got our measurement. Okay, so I'm going to use our tool here, and I'm going to use our marker here. And now let's say this is what you're going to be measuring. So you measure from here to here, you record it. Let's say here you got like no, let's say you go like 3 centimeter. Okay, and you measure from here to this part, and let's say you get 7.5 centimeter. Okay, so this is what you're going to be entering. So let's create a page right now that has this, okay, before we actually move to the one we measured. So what we can do now is to come here now, 3.5, 3 and 7.5. So you come here and you say new, and you come to custom, and now you come to, you don't use pixel, okay, you use centimeter because you've created your design in you've measured your measurement in centimeter. So you take your measurement and you say centimeter. So right on the width, now what we have in here is 3, right, which is from from the left to right, the width. Then the height, which is from top to the bottom or from bottom to top. So that what you have is 7.5. So put 7.5. So you create new design. Now this is the length. Now this is the size. Now everything you're going to be designing now, let's come to element. Everything you're going to be designing now is going to be on this page, your text, everything. Okay, and it's going to give you, let me drag this, and it's going to give you this size. By the time you print it out, you stick it to the bottle, it's going to be this size. Now this is the length. So this is what you're going to be designing. Same thing goes with every other thing. I've taught you how to measure the roundness of a bottle. Okay, these are samples that I got online. If you want it to be this length, do the same thing. So from our measurement that we got from the how to do the measurement, so we're going to come here now and enter our measurement. So we're going to come here, come to plus, and come to custom size. Right, so the smaller one we measured for which is going to just be on this part here. So what we have now is this one. We're going to measure it as 5.6. Then this one is going to be 7. Now you can see that we're having an error here because our measurement unit is still in inches. I made a mistake all the time, so make sure that you're already in inches. So these figures, you're going to enter them again. I'm going to select all there. I'm going to say 5.6, and here I'm going to select all, and I'm going to say 7. Okay, and now if we create our design, okay, it's going to give us that exact size. Now this is the size of the one that we did first. Okay, so let's enter the measurement of the second one. So come here and say and come to custom size. The second one that has the width as 9.5, I mean 19.5. Again, I'm making a mistake again by not selecting my unit. So I'm going to select all that again, and I'm going to punch in my 19.5. And now for the height is 9.5. I'm going to put 9.5. So I'm just going to click on create. So this is the one that's going to wrap around the bottom. So now what you can do now is to start making your design. So I'm just going to make my design. You can do your own research and just design. Okay, so let's get right into the design right now. So all right, we're going to get started. So we're going to design the one for the rounded one, and I got some sample of some text here that we're going to be using for our product design. So we have this text that I generated with ChatGPT just for us to get an example of how this thing look. I'm going to keep this very simple so that we can just understand how this thing work, okay, without wasting our time. Okay, so I'm going to copy all of this because this is going to be on the front page. I'm going to say Ctrl C, and I'm going to come to my design. I'm going to paste it. Okay, now what we have is this. Okay, I'm going to change the font. I'm going to start breaking them and change the font. So what we have now is this. I'm going to delete all this, then I'm probably going to retype this again because I want it to be in small caps. So I'm going to copy this, Ctrl X. I think there's an extra space there. I'm going to delete that so that we can keep everything nice and clean. So now that we have this, I'm going to use this font that we've used before in our previous tutorial, this Neo Montreal. I'm beginning to fall in love with it, and I'm going to paste my glow here. Now we have this. I'm going to make this one bold. It's too bold. Okay, I'm going to come to the font and I'm going to choose the medium. Okay, same thing with this one. I'm going to make it medium. Okay, I wanted to give it this premium feel, and we're going to use black for our background. So we have this one now, which is very much center aligned. So we can delete this. We don't need it anymore. So the next thing we can do is to bring this other text here. So I can just delete all of this. Okay, and maybe break this one into two places. Then for the fonts, we're going to choose the font called Laura. Okay, Laura, and we're going to bring this down into smaller size here. You can break this one into two lines so that this one at least can be a little bit up, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. Now let me just do it. Okay, I feel like it's too down. To X, push it a little bit forward. Now we have this one. Oh, we can just move this one. Let's duplicate this one and paste what we already have. Ctrl V. So I'm going to delete this and delete this remaining part. I'm just going to bring it down here. So we can also use this one. Let me make this one a little bit bigger. I feel like they're not center align. I can select both of them to center align it. Come to position and just say align. Okay, they're going to align by themselves. Cool. So I need to add a logo here. What I can do, I'm going to use a sample logo. I'm going to say skincare logo, so I can use the generic logo just to give you an example. And let's wait for the result. I'm going to drag it and place it right there. All right, so we're going to use anyone here. Let's use this one. This one is black, and let's position this one here. Okay, and you can add the name of the product, or maybe let's use something different. Let's use this one because I'm thinking of how I'm going to position the brand name. Okay, let's duplicate this. Let's call it Brussels skincare. Okay, let's call it Brussels skincare. Okay, I can break this one into two lines. Use my line spacing to bring them real close. And just hit it to the left. I'm just going to reposition this one now. Let me click off and just position it somewhere like this. Okay, I'm making a mistake. All our design is supposed to be, our background is supposed to be black, so let me take care of that. So I'm just going to make it all blacks. So what I can do now is to select all of them and make the color to be white. Okay, then for our logo can also be white. Okay, let's pick the color here and then just make it white. Okay, we want to give it this classic feel. Then for this one, I'm going to make it white too. Okay, and now that we have it, I don't think that's white. That's not white. Let's take the real white. Okay, So now we're going to copy the rest of the things as fast as we can so that we can have our design ready. So I'm going to paste this, Ctrl V, and I'm going to flush all this to the left. Select all and flush to the left, because I noticed this one didn't flush to the left. So I'm going to do that again, flush to the left. So now that we have that, I'm going to scale this one down and just position it this way. What I can do next time is to alt drag, so I can have the next place to position our other text. So this is the benefit. I'm going to Ctrl C, I'm going to come here and I'm going to Ctrl V, and I'm going to come here again, and I'm going to select all this one for direction for use, and I'm going to paste. Okay, I'm going to select all this and I'm going to alt drag to make a copy here. Okay, and I'm going to come to ingredients. Okay, and I'm going to Ctrl C, I'm going to Ctrl V here, Ctrl V right here too, the same thing. I'm going to say caution. I'm going to copy this, Ctrl C, and I'm going to select all. I'm going to paste this. Then for this last part, I'm going to say manufactured by Bruxelles Skincare, I'm not going to copy the last part. This one that has to do with batch, manufacturing date, and expiring date. I'm not going to do that. But if your client has those details, or maybe you're making a product for yourself and you have those details, you can actually just do that for yourself. So I'm going to select all and I'm going to paste. I'm keeping this simple because I just want to show you an example. Okay, I'm going to select all these. There are people who will now add something like recycle icon. For example, let me say recycle logo. Okay, keep your city clean, something like this, all of this. Okay, I can make this color to be white now. Let's make it white. You can do all of those research, keep the city clean and all that, recycle and all that. So let me select all this and just position it somewhere here. Okay, now that we are done with this, last one thing I can do also is to bring a rectangular shape and just drag it right here under it. I'm going to make this one to be white color, white. Then the text there, I can make it to be black. Okay, just to give it some contrast. Okay, so now what we have is this. So I'm going to download this and we're going to mock it up onto these bottles. Okay, just to give you a style of mockup. There are different style of mockup, but let's download this. Now there are two ways you can actually download it as PNG. Okay, which we are going to do first. I'm going to say go to the page and say current page. Okay, and it's already in PNG format. Okay, PNG, and now we're going to say download, and let's just wait. Sometimes after selecting it always takes some time for it to load, this download icon or download button. So now let's click download. The second one that we're going to download is called the PDF format. Now when sending to the client, always send the PDF and the PNG, because sometimes some printer will be like, oh, the PDF didn't work but the PNG works. Okay, sometimes printer can have issue working with PDF sometimes, but the best format for printing is actually the PDF format. Okay, always download the PDF format. So in order for you to download the PDF format, my download haven't started yet, and that's the reason why this page is still hanging here. So let's just give it some time. Once it starts, this page is going to close. We have our design downloaded now. It's going to ask you, I'm going to save this as product label. Okay, product label. Okay, and just click OK. So we're going to do the second download. We're going to come here again and say download. This time we're going to download it as PDF print, which is best for printing, not standard. Okay, this is best for document and mailing, but this one is best for printing. So select that one. I'm going to select current page, and we're just going to hit download. Now this is the one you're going to send to the printer. So now we're going to bring our design, the first one that we made, into our design again, so that we can mock it up into these pages. Okay, we're already getting close to the end, so I'm going to go to my download folder and bring in that design. So we're going to drag it into our design, and now we have this. So so what we can do now is to just drag it a little bit like this, and now make sure that when you are dragging it, it's in the length that you measured. Okay, one of the problem you might face is finding the mockup for your label. So now that you have this, you can just copy this, and you can also paste it here. Ctrl V. Okay, the same process depending on your bottle. Okay, just find the right bottle. Now what we have is this. We can use drop shadow just to give our design some look. Okay, I'm going to click on drop shadow, and right on drop shadow I'm going to add some drop shadow at the bottom. I'm going to scale it down and just position it at the bottom of my bottle just to give it some 3D-ish view. Okay, I can copy the same thing and paste it here, and my bottle here it's not loaded. Guess I'm having a network issue then. Okay, but you get the idea. Okay, all right, bottle was loaded. Now you get the idea. Now this is where you download, so you can just come here now, click on download. So that brings us to the end of the video. So for your assignment, okay, design a label, any product according to the brief, and you can make any label for any product according to the brief. Then just mock it up something like this, download the design, upload it in the design. If you want bottles like this, come to elements and just search for skincare bottles. Okay, you're gonna see some. Okay, come to photo. Oh, come back, come to photo. You're gonna see a lot. Okay, you can see all this. I think this is an example. Let's come to, you're gonna see empty bottles. Okay, empty bottles I can use. Look at this one. Okay, nice, right? Can use even more beautiful ones like this. Okay, in cases like this you can remove the background if you want to. That brings us to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.